easy to solve, and you can do this on your own as long as you kind of know what's going on. We're talking about when the bridge falls down on your instrument, and that's our bridge right there. Probably loosened all the strings at the same time, or something got bumped, who knows, it got knocked, and the bridge came off. And we're going to talk a little bit today about how to get this back on the instrument correctly, so that you don't have to worry about getting it to a shop. There will be some cases where you do need to go to a shop. We're going to talk about that briefly. So your bridge is popped off. You need to make sure it's still whole. If any of this has broken, if any of the feet have broken, or if it has cracked, then you need to go to the repair shop and have a new bridge cut. Again, it's not an expensive process, but it's something that has to be done by a trained luthier at a repair shop. So if the bridge has simply popped off and it's still whole, still in one piece, we can get this back on the instrument without too much difficulty. Just a couple things to notice when you look at it. These are called the feet of the bridge, and you'll notice that one side is, if I hold this level, so I'm going to hold this level to the camera, you'll notice that one side is higher and one side is a little bit lower. This is going to be important when you put it on the instrument. The lower side is going to be on the E string, the thinner strings, and the thicker strings are going to go where the bridge is a little bit taller. And I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. So let's switch cameras. Okay. And so here you can see our victim. Here's our instrument, our violin. Get it centered in the camera there. And you can see the bridge has popped off. The strings are still in good shape. The sound post has not fallen, which is good news, because sometimes that happens. If the sound post falls, again, I would take it to the shop so they can stand it up properly. But if your sound post hasn't fallen, then the only thing that's happened is your bridge has come down. No worries, you're in good shape. We can get this fixed. So I mentioned one earlier that you want the smaller end on the thinner strings. So we're going to align the bridge so that the lower side of the bridge is on the E string. So if I'm looking at the instrument from the end over here, this is going to be up here on the E string. Now I'm going to see if I can do this without jostling the camera so you can see what's going on. So these strings are still pretty tight. This is exactly what happened when the bridge fell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the pegs, and I'm going to loosen these a little bit. Not too much, just to get some slack. And if you need more room, that's okay. And then the feet are going to line up right here between these notches on the F-holes. You'll see each of these holes, this is called an F-hole because it looks kind of like an F. And there's a notch right here and right here. And those notches are guides for you to line your bridge up. And in fact, the bridge has left a mark in the finish, which also gives us another reference point. And what we're going to do is we're just going to slide this under, push against the strings. Okay, and I'm pushing a little bit of pressure, but that's okay. The whole instrument's held together with pressure. There. And now it's standing up. There's no glue involved. No, please don't glue your bridge to the instrument or have anybody tell you that they need to glue it. It is not held in place with glue. So we have the bridge up. It's standing. It's being held in place. But you can see we're not lined up. So we can get this up here to the camera. We're really kind of out of whack here. You can tell we've got the notches for the F-holes here, and the bridge is all over the place. So we're going to carefully, and by hand, we're just going to move that until those feet are lined up between the notches. Okay, and that looks pretty good. That's pretty well lined up there. Get that back under the camera. There we go. And there we go. And now you can really see everything is in a nice straight line. That's only part of the job. You need to take a good close look at the feet and make sure they're sitting flush against the top of the instrument. And the camera won't focus quite that close. But there should be no gap here. Looking in here, there should be no gap between the top of the instrument and the feet. If the bridge is tilted in any direction, you've got a gap, then you need to make sure that's sitting down nice and solid. And just taking a look, that actually is up a little bit on the tailpiece side. There we go. That looks much better. Nice and tight. And notice the notches on the top. We're going to make sure each string is sitting in the notch where it's supposed to. Okay. And that looks pretty good. That's pretty good. That's certainly going to allow us to continue to practice. This bridge could use a little bit more fitting. But since I'm at home and the bridge came down because I had all the strings loose like my teacher told me I wasn't supposed to, that's got it back up. We're going to make sure it's centered. Make sure that these strings are all in the center of the fingerboard, just like they're supposed to be. If one of these is way off to the side, obviously that's wrong. You want to center it, and that looks pretty good. And we're going to get it, apply tension to the pegs to make sure that bridge stays in place. And it's horribly out of tune. That's another video to tune your violin. And that's it. You've got your bridge back up. Now all you need to do is get your tuner app out, get it tuned back up, and you're good to practice again. Disaster averted, and you're ready for your online string orchestra class tomorrow. So, that's it. I hope that answers a couple of questions for you. Again, it looks kind of disastrous when you come running up with the bridge in one hand and the instrument in another. You're not really sure what to do. Very easy to put it back on and get things going. Couple of caveats: if the bridge is broken, it needs to go to the repair shop. If the sound post has come down, you're going to need to take that to the shop so they can set it. That's a very easy job. But if the bridge has simply popped off and is in one piece and the strings are all in good shape, it's a simple procedure. Just stand it back up. Hope you all found that helpful, and have a great back to school season.